Here are 5 easy dinner ideas that you will actually want to make. They're not only easy, but they're packed with flavor. Today, I'm transforming this perfect French bread from our local bakery into the ultimate quick and easy French bread pizza. Hi, I'm Tara the Foodie, and I take the mystery out of cooking for you. So the first thing that you want to do to make this French bread pizza is prep your French bread. All I'm doing is just spraying a thin layer of olive oil on the French bread. I have this garlic salt here, so just go ahead and sprinkle a bit on each piece. As soon as you have your French bread prepped, you want to go ahead and pop these into a 425-degree oven for just 5 minutes. So the next step is to make your homemade pizza sauce. Put your pot over medium heat and add 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Next, add 3 cloves of garlic. Give it a little stir. Next, add a 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes. Add 1 can of tomato paste. Add a half a cup of water. 2 teaspoons kosher salt. 1 tablespoon sugar. 1 teaspoon onion powder, 1 teaspoon basil, and 2 tablespoons oregano. And then just mix this together, put it on low heat, and let it simmer for just a few minutes. And now we're at the fun part, and that's assembling our French bread pizzas. And then we are going to pop these in the oven for about 13 minutes, or as long as you want and how crispy that you want them. And then we'll take them out and we'll have a taste. I forgot to mention the last ingredient that I like to put on top of any of the pizzas is Parmesan. So just lightly sprinkle Parmesan on the top. These look crunchy, they're perfectly cooked. Look at these French bread pizzas. This is my version of stuffed peppers. You know me, I love spicy things. I love Tex Mex, basically anything. So today I'm showing you how to take stuffed peppers and kick them up a notch. The first thing that you need to do when you make Tex Mex stuffed peppers is you need to fire up your peppers. If you're just looking for a bit of a char, let's go ahead and make our rice. Because we're using 1 cup of dried rice, we are going to use 2 cups of water. Pour in your rice, pour in your water, and then turn your fire on to high. The water is now boiling, and when this happens, this is the part where you turn the heat all the way to low, and then put the lid on. And you're gonna let that just slowly cook for about 20 minutes or so. Let's go ahead and start preparing the filling that we're going to put inside our Tex Mex stuffed peppers. Since I'm going to be browning some meat, I always like to put a little bit of oil in the pan. We are using 2 different meats. I've got a pound of ground beef and chorizo. Add these meats to our pan and then just break up the meats and cook it until it's cooked through. So as you can see, the rice has soaked up all of the water. So at this point, go ahead and take your fork and you're gonna fluff up the rice. Add the taco seasoning to your meat. Then grab your favorite salsa and add about 1 cup. Go ahead and add your black beans as well. And the last thing we wanna add is our cooked rice. And then stir it up. This is no boring stuffed pepper right here. Take your knife and just cut it as in half as you possibly can. We've got the 2 halves. I'm gonna cut just this part. We're going to put as much of this filling into these peppers, and we want them to be like heaping, and just put it into the pepper. Just get yourself a can of prepared red enchilada sauce. Spoon some of this into each pepper, just kind of over top. So I'm gonna go ahead and put half of the cheese, the 1 cup, all over these peppers. So this is just kind of the first layer. Now go ahead and take some tin foil, and then you're just covering it. I'm going to put this in a 350-degree oven for 45 minutes. So at this point, you wanna carefully remove the tin foil or aluminum foil Oh my. Take the other half of your cheddar cheese, this is a cup's worth or so, and you want to sprinkle it over the tops of your peppers. And then we're just going to go ahead and pop it back in the oven just long enough for the cheese to melt. Oh my goodness, they smell so good. Wow. I'll show you how to make a delicious chicken chorizo pasta that's perfect for dinner any day of the week. So the first thing you do to make this chicken chorizo pasta is prep your chicken and chorizo. We are using a ½ pound of chorizo and a pound of chicken breast. Hit this with a little salt, just a taste, and a little pepper. Get your pasta going. And the first thing that you want to do is salt your water. Add 1 pound of rigatoni pasta and then stir it up so that the pasta doesn't stick. Don't forget to set your timer because you're gonna be distracted making this delicious sauce. Get your pan nice and hot. Add a tablespoon of olive oil. Add the chorizo to the pan. Just bring your cutting board over and just slide that meat right in and stir it up. When the timer goes off, drain your pasta. So you want to hit it with just a little bit of olive oil so that the pasta doesn't start to get starchy and stick together. Then just grab something to stir it up with just so that all the oil kind of coats the noodles. It's time to add your diced onion and diced red pepper. Stir it up and saute for just a couple minutes until the vegetables start to soften. Now's the time to add your 2 tablespoons of tomato paste and then stir that tomato paste so that it coats everything. Add 3 cloves of garlic, 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning, and just about a 1/4 teaspoon or a 1/2 teaspoon if you're feeling sassy of red pepper flake. Pour in your 1.5 cups of chicken stock. Stir the mixture up and scrape the bottom of the pan to bring up all of that wonderful flavor. So I have my heat all the way down to low now. Pour this gloriousness into our sauce and you can just see the beautiful color that this heavy cream creates. Turn it up to about medium because I want it to come back to a simmer, and we're going to let this sauce simmer for just a couple of minutes so that it thickens up. We are going to go ahead and add our starchy pasta to the sauce. Stir it up, add a 1/2 cup of finely grated Parmesan cheese and 2 cups of baby spinach. Work all this down into the pasta. Now it's time to transfer it to a beautiful serving bowl. You want to take the other half of your finely grated Parmesan cheese and sprinkle it all over the top. Then grab some fresh parsley that you chopped up and sprinkle it over top. To add a little more color and a little more sass, add a little more pepper flake if you dare. These mini meatball subs are guaranteed to impress with their unique twist on a beloved classic. So the first thing you need to make sure you have is a nice sack of dinner rolls. Cut down, like hitting the bottom, but try not to cut through the bottom. I'm gonna come back over here and cut around this way. Peel out without exposing the bottom, this bread. So we've got the innards here. This is the vessel that we will be using for our mini meatball subs. These are the breadcrumbs that are going to go into our meatballs. I'm just gonna literally just chop it up into small little pieces. This is 2 pounds of what they call meatloaf mixture. It is a mixture of beef and pork. So I'm gonna take about 1 cup here and spread them around. And I'm gonna take about another cup here and spread them around. I would think I'll go 2.5 cups. That's what I'm gonna choose to use. Next, I'm gonna add 1 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. I'm gonna go ahead and take these 2 eggs and then scramble away. And then I will add this mixture to the bowl. So the next thing I'm going to add is minced garlic or garlic ran through a garlic press. I suggest 3 cloves of garlic. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of chopped fresh parsley. And we want to salt and pepper this mixture. The last thing that you want to put in this mixture before you start to mix it up with your hands is water. We want to moisten these breadcrumbs and we want the meatballs to hold together as well. And now I'm going to mix it up and see how the consistency feels. I'm actually gonna put the rest of this in, which is about a cup. So that means I think this is by 3 cups. And because I added a little more breadcrumb, I'm going to add a little more water. You want to grab yourself an ice cream scooper, place it into your hand, and roll it up into a meatball. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Turn your fire up to like medium high. Put some olive oil into your pan, and then I'm going to add the meatballs to the pan. So get rid of the extra oil, and then we will return these meatballs to the pan and add the sauce. Stir up your meatballs so that they're all covered with the sauce and let them simmer for about 10 minutes just to make sure they're cooked through. Look at that. Wonderful meatballs and some nice hot sauce. 3 meatballs to every dinner roll. Spoon over some extra sauce. Top it with a half a slice of mozzarella cheese. Take these over to a 350-degree oven. Put them in for about 10 minutes or until the cheese is melted and they are bubbly and hot. Go ahead and sprinkle some fresh parsley on top to garnish. Oh my goodness. Indulge your taste buds with this delightful comfort dish, my cheesy turkey enchilada bake. Swirl some oil into your pan, and I've got my pan over high heat because I want to brown this turkey as quickly as possible. There's 3 pounds of meat in this casserole, baby. Go ahead and take your 3 pounds of meat and put it in the pan. And then just go ahead and brown this meat until it's about 85% brown. Grab 3 packets of taco seasoning, and I'm gonna add this to the turkey. Next, you wanna add 1 cup of diced onion, 1 cup of diced red bell pepper, and finally, you wanna add 1 cup of diced green bell pepper. So I have stirred everything in. I'm gonna add the key ingredient to this cheesy turkey enchilada bake that makes it so luscious and creamy. And that secret ingredient is cream cheese. I like to cube it up so you can kind of disperse it throughout. So now we're just melting this cheese into the mixture. So as you can see, when I start to fold in the cream cheese, how it just makes it just a whole different story in this pan. So the next thing you want to do is grab 7 tortillas and then just do my best to cut them in half. So this is 20 ounces of red enchilada sauce. You just want to pour a little bit into the bottom of your glass dish. So you want to grab your tortilla building blocks next. Take the flat side and you're going to lay a tortilla half on this part here, like on the side. 1 goes here and 1 goes on this side. And you want to do the same thing on the other side. Now you're going to do the same thing on both ends. And you're left with a half, and this goes in the middle.
Okay, baby.
Okay, and we just pick this up and we're going to dump it in there.
All of it?
Oh yes, babe.
It's all going in there.
It's all going in there.
We're not going to be able to snack on any of this?
I'll save you a little bit.
Okay.
Okay.
That's how she pays me.
Spread your filling all over the bottom tortillas without moving them around. And we're gonna do the same thing on top of the filling as we did underneath the filling. You want to grab the rest of your red enchilada sauce, and we are going to pour it on top of all of these tortillas. Oh, I have an idea. Let's turn the oven on. Go ahead and preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Grab your bowl of cheese and just sprinkle this cheese evenly over the entire bake. Grab yourself some pickled jalapeno slices. This bake is going to have 8 servings. So for each piece of this casserole, I want to have 2 of these in the middle of each one. So I am going to put this into a 350-degree oven for just about 10 minutes or until the cheese is melted and the bake is bubbly. Oh yeah. So good. I'm Tara the Foodie, taking the mystery out of cooking for you, and I will see you next time.